This is the Durable Dad Podcast. I'm your host, Tommy Geary. This show is going to give you the skills and tools you need to be a rock-solid man for your work, your community, and most importantly, your family. All right, what's going on, guys? Episode number 6 today. Today, we're going to talk about this mindset shift. It's a slight little mindset shift that can really benefit how we move through our day. It can really take some of the pressure off, some of the weight that we tend to carry around. And what it is this shift from thinking I need to versus I want to, or I have to versus I get to. And we're going to talk about different areas of life where this might apply. And basically what we're looking at is when we're thinking I need to or I have to, there's this energy that is more draining and contracting and resisting. And when we have the I want to, I get to mindset, it's more of an energy that's expanding, fueling. And these two types of energies, if you actually look at the big picture here, everything is made up of energy. Like this is what Albert Einstein theorized. This is what quantum theory is all about. And now it's actually fact. Science is showing that everything is made up of energy. And before we go too far into that, the purpose of this need to versus want to, have to versus get to, is that the energy that we're putting out matters. So we're going to talk about 5 areas in our life where this shift from need to into want to, have to, into get to can be beneficial. So the first area is our health. I'm working with this one guy that wants to work on getting healthier, getting his sleep in order. And when we start talking about it, he's in this need to mindset. I need to get better sleep. I need to get back into my workout routine. And that energy, right? If we talk about our thoughts creating our emotions and our energy, when we're thinking I need to do something, that energy is going to be more heavy. It's going to be different than if we were thinking I want to get back on the workout train. I want to start eating healthier. And even if you just ask the question differently. If I asked him, why do you need to start working out more? He would go right to talking about why he's not in shape and why he's put on weight and why he doesn't sleep well. If we shift and ask, why do you want to get healthier? We're going to look more future focused and we're going to look, well, I want to because then I'll feel better. I'll have more energy. I'll be able to do this race that I want, or I'll be able to work out better. My knees will feel better. Right? The need to versus want to, slight shift, but just notice yourself. I mean, the other day, it was a weekday. I wanted to get a run in and I just kept pushing it off all day. And then it was 4:00 and we were actually talking about this podcast topic. And when I was talking to my wife, I was like, man, I really need to get a run in, but I really just don't have the time. And she was like, you need to get the run in or you want to? And I was like, there it is again. Like I was putting that weight on myself that I needed to get the run in. And I shifted. I was like, well, what if I wanted to get the run in? Which I really do. I do want to get my run in. And when I thought that, I got more motivated to get out there and get going. So think about it. Catch yourself when you're in your wanting to be healthier. Think about your sleep. Think about eating, working out. How often do you tell yourself you need to versus you want to? All right, that's the first one. Second area is with our kids, parenting. So I need to help my daughter with her homework. I have to pick them up. When we're in that mindset, it feels like an obligation. It feels like a burden that we need to do things. And with our kids, if we can switch to I want to and I get to, it's about considering the time that we have with our kids. Right? They're in our house until they're about 18, and all the errands that we have to run, all the activities that we have to go to, all the early mornings, all the middle of the night wake ups. So if you catch yourself feeling like you're obligated, just think about the time that you have with your kids. If you zoom out from the day to day, we're not going to have that many opportunities to drive them around. They'll be driving themselves soon. We're not going to have that many opportunities to help them with their homework. They're going to be able to do their homework by themselves soon. So instead of thinking I need to, I have to, if we think I get to, it comes from this place of like, wow, like what an opportunity. I want to. It opens us up to leaning in to our parenting role. And another part here with parenting, I think is important, not just looking at the limited time we have with our kids to really appreciate the day-to-day stuff. The other is we can look back at why we had kids in the first place. Why did you want to have kids? Like we knew what we were getting into, the awesome, amazing times and the reasons that kids make things harder. And if we remember that we got into parenting because we wanted to raise a child and love a child and we chose to have kids, it's not an obligation, right? It's not a burden. Like we decided this, so we get to go all in and we get this opportunity to be a parent. And it's pretty powerful. It's, as you're listening to this, as I'm talking about it, I want you to really like catch yourself throughout the day to day. How often are you saying have to, need to? And the next one we're going to talk about is work. And what type of energy are you bringing to work right now? This need to versus want to, this I have to go to work versus I get to go to work. When we are thinking that we have to do something, there's this implied sense that we don't have control, but we are choosing it. If we wanted to skip work, we could. If we wanted to dump our responsibilities as parents and bring in some money home, we could. But we also want to. We also get to. So we are allowed to choose our mindsets. Do you want to choose that you have to go to work and bring that kind of energy, or do you want to choose that I get to go to work? There's this book called The Prophet, and I'm going to totally butcher the author's name, but I'm going to go for it. Kahlil Gibran, The Prophet. It's a cool book. He talks about all different areas of life. It's a short read, and he's talking about work, and he's talking about winemakers. He says, if you grudge the crushing of grapes, your grudge distills a poison on the wine. So it's kind of like if you feel like you have to crush the grapes, your energy of have to distills a poison on the wine. Whatever you're putting out in work, your product, your service, the leadership in managing other people, if you're telling yourself that you have to or you need to, it's going to be more poisonous than if we come from the other mindset. When we're talking about choosing our mindset, two things can be true, and we get to decide how we want to think about it. Right? So that's the work thing, that's all this stuff. Yes, maybe we have to pick up our kids, but we also get to pick up our kids. So which mindset are we going to choose? Both of those things are true. You have to get your kids and you want to get your kids. Choose how you want to think about it. So that's the first three spots we talked about: our health and working out, getting better sleep, wanting to do it versus needing to do it. Our kids, remembering that our time is limited. We get to be with them. What an amazing opportunity for us to be able to parent. Work. What kind of energy are you putting into that time you spend at your trade, at your office, and what kind of work are you putting out? When you're thinking that I have to go to work, I need to go to work, it's like we don't have control over our actions. And when we want to and we get to, we can decide that we are doing this and we'll be more productive. We'll show up for our work in a better way. All right. How about how this applies with our parents? So I have to call my dad. I need to call my mom. If you're listening to this and lucky enough to have both of your parents alive still, it's a gift that you have the ability to call them or to hang out with them. It's not always easy to remember this. I've written about this and posted about this before, this article really hit me. And it's from Tim Urban. It's his blog, Wait But Why. I can't remember exactly what the article is called, but he did all these calculations and he pretty much sums it up by saying, by the time we graduate from high school, we're 18, let's say, we already use up 93% of the in-person time with our parents. So wherever we are in life right now, if you're 30 and beyond, if you're 40, like we have 5% of that time left. The tail end, that's the name of the article, the tail end, because he's saying we're in the tail end of our time with our parents. How do we want to spend it? And our mindset of how we approach that time with them is going to impact the quality of time we have with them. So are we thinking, I need to be with my parents, I have to be with my parents, or are we thinking, I want to, I get to? All right, and then the last one is us, you. When we tell ourselves that I need to be better at something, I have to get better at sales, I need to be a better manager or a better dad, you're telling yourself that you're not good right now. And that doesn't feel good. Not very motivating to tell yourself that you're not good at something and that you need to be better and that you have to start making progress. It's not totally obvious. Like you might hear me say that and be like, no, I got to put some pressure on myself to keep moving forward. Yes, it can work sometimes to push us forward. Like, come on, man, you need to do this. However, when we're telling ourselves that we need to be better, there's more pressure involved. And instead, if you thought like, I want to do better, there's more motivation there. And even just like try it out right when you're done listening to this podcast, because I'm almost done, I'm wrapping it up. Just say to yourself, I want to do better versus I need to do better. And let both of them kind of sink in and just notice how they feel differently. All right, we talked about needing to versus wanting to, having to versus getting to in our health, our kids, when we approach work, with our parents and the time we spend with them, and how we use it on ourselves. And what I really want you to take away is that we are really lucky to be here. We are really lucky to have the life that we have on this planet and the experiences that we get to experience. If you're in good health and you're able to use your body, like you don't need to work out to keep that body healthy, but you also want to because other people don't have as healthy of a body. Like, I need to drink more water. No, we get to drink more water. Like a lot of people in the world don't have fresh water that they can just open up in their spout. I get to do that. So put this stuff to work. Notice when you're saying need and have and see if you can switch it. You can connect with me, TommyGCoaching.com, and have an awesome day. All right, before you take off, what is your big challenge for 2026? If you haven't decided yet, check out the next Grand Canyon trip, a 16-mile hike from the top of the canyon down to the Colorado River and back up. This is the kind of challenge that's going to push you into a higher gear. You're going to train, you're going to get in better shape, and you're going to check off a bucket list experience. So if you're wanting something to train for next year, a goal that's going to pull you out of the grind, this is it. We're assembling the team right now. All the details are on the website. Training starts in January. We hike in April. Check it out.